What's up, guys? This is JDJ here. If you are doing weddings for the first time, one of the best and easiest ways to make your setup look clean is by using a facade. However, if you're a new DJ, you might be starting in some backyard weddings. If you're anything like me, you're going to have problems like this. Don't worry, that was just AI, but I have had that come close quite a few times. So today what I'm going to show you is a couple of tips and tricks for using a facade to make it stick well when it's windy. All right, you might be thinking, Jared, why did you set this up in the grass? Why would you ever set up a facade in the grass? Believe it or not, I've done quite a few weddings where couples have rented a dance floor that they put on the grass, and then they want you to set up right behind that dance floor on the grass. So right here is where I'm going to show you how we would set this up if there were some wind. One of the things I use are actually these things right here. And these are literally stakes that are used for gardening and garden hoses to keep them locked into the ground. So the facade, the nice thing about facades is you can take off the scrim, and I usually just take off the bottom of the scrim all around the facade and stick one of these in the ground. So I'll show you how that is right here. Okay, so as I go around the facade, you'll see there's a bunch of those little hooks in the ground. You can't even really see them. I only put 4 on here for today, but if I was doing an actually pretty windy wedding, I would probably use up to 8, depending on how windy it is. So that actually works surprisingly well. So these little garden stakes are really handy. I believe you can get some on Amazon, like 30 pieces for anywhere from $5 to $10. So they're really good to have in your back pocket, especially if you're doing weddings where people have pictures set up or any sort of other decoration set up and they need stakes. You'll come in clutch with these. You'll be their favorite person if you have some of these. So they're actually really handy. If you're setting up on concrete, I would really recommend using gaffer tape, because gaffer tape is something that you should probably already have for your cables. You can use it through the scrim like I set it up before, and it'll help the facade not be pushed back from the wind so much. So I'll show you guys how to use this gaffer tape here. I really recommend this brand. There's a couple of brands you can get on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description here. But this brand of gaffer tape is amazing because you can get it in bulk and then it's way cheaper. I think for one roll, it's anywhere from $8 to $9. And then there's another brand that I found that's $5 to $6. But I really like this brand just because it has a lot more bulk. And if you're going to be doing this a lot, it's good to have a lot of gaffer tape. So I'll show you how I'd put this in the facade right now. So once again, here's what it looks like from the side angle. You can barely see it. Sometimes I even put it through the front here if I need to. And then there's another little bit right there. So pretty great, helps it hold up a lot better. Okay, so these are some really easy fixes when you have a facade, but if I were to make one recommendation, it would really just be to find a setup where you don't need your facade. You gotta have a backup plan, because there are gonna be times where, yes, this will hold up a little bit, but if it's really gusty, you gotta be prepared, right? Can you imagine what would happen if a bride and groom is having their first dance and the facade literally blows into them? It would be terrible. And frankly, the bride and groom probably shouldn't be doing their wedding outside if that were happening, but I've had some close calls here. So I actually made another video where I talk about my new DJ table that I use, and the reason I bought this DJ table is so I can feel confident with my setup without having a facade. I know there are some other DJ tables out there by Pro X and even some other brands just on Amazon where it's literally like a table, but then a half facade. So it still covers up the wires, it still looks good, but you don't have to worry about it blowing away. So I'd really recommend just finding a way to do this without a facade. If you're a new DJ though, and you only have your ugly table, there's cables everywhere, you're about to do a wedding and you're thinking, oh my gosh, this looks awful, I need to have my facade. Well, these can be some really easy fixes for you. So I would definitely have these in your back pocket. Another really easy fix is just having a tablecloth. Sometimes the tablecloth will still blow in the wind a little bit, but a tablecloth can really block the ugliness of the cables. And so it's always good to have a tablecloth as well. So anyways, hope this video helped. Make sure to like and subscribe. Put in the comments what you do when it's windy outside.